All right, guys, what's up? Today we just kind of talk about diet, just free chat. It's no, in my opinion, there's no right diet, there's no wrong diet. Obviously, the healthier you eat, the better it is, the better you feel, the more weight you lose.
Right.
But I mean, we've both been there doing 6 meals a day.
Right.
We've tracked macros, we've weighed food, we've done keto, we've done intermittent fasting. Between the two of us, we've kind of done it all, haven't we?
Exactly. Yeah, that and more.
And then like different, as you get older, when you're in your 20s, you can be very selfish, no kids, no responsibility. As you become a dad, as you start businesses, things change, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And with that, diet changes.
Yep.
So what have you found for you? What do you like? What don't you like?
That's the key word you said. As you get older, things change. So if you're eating the same exact foods, why not change that as well if you're not doing the same exact lifestyle? You got to kind of fit your lifestyle with your foods and with your lifestyle. So like my lifestyle has changed, obviously. I'm not a kid in high school. I'm not playing collegiate sports anymore. So my job isn't to eat, sleep, go to school anymore.
Carry lunch boxes around everywhere you go.
I can't do that. It worked for me, worked for you probably too, when we were eating 6 meals a day.
And that's all totally works.
And that's all we knew. So,
but it sucks.
And so we thought,
to find me someone that tells you it doesn't suck, it sucks.
You have 6 meals a day. You got to wash all those containers. Make that it's a job, and you're not getting paid for it. So it sucks. Yeah. And for most people, they're not competing. They're not doing anything. They're not making any money from it to even justify it. Yeah. They look good at the beach though. You like saying all the time, TikTok. And these influencers on TikTok, their job is to look great, to sell you what they want you to, be sold on. So, hey, if you want to get in shape, you need to be eating these 6 meals a day. Chicken breast, broccoli. Look at my day in life video where I'm taking you through a day of my eating. And you look at that and you say, man, I got to do that. And then, but your job is to actually go work for a corporate office 8 hours a day when you're sitting on your ass. After work, go get your kids. And then after that, cook dinner for the family. Where's the time to actually have those meals, and you figure out a way to just do it, whether it be you lose sleep or whether you lose time with your family, and you get frustrated and burnt out, and then you're like, okay, I'm over this.
Yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna go back to being fluffy and happy.
Yeah, and happy. It's a mental stressor, man. Yeah. And that's what I think you and I kind of we didn't maybe run into, but we figured out, man, there's other ways to actually get in shape and take care of ourselves nutrition-wise without the every 2 hours as if we're going to be competing for Mr. Olympia.
That's the thing. And honestly, we've both been there where it's get up and cook and prep your food for the day or for a couple of days in a row. Right. Eating 2.5 to 3 hours. Cooking, cleaning, prepping, shopping, cooking, and it's just this ongoing cycle. And we've both been there, and it works. I've been down very, very, very low body fat. You've been on stage multiple times, and it works, but it sucks. Yeah, it's expensive. It's time consuming. It's selfish. And as you get older, it's not maintainable unless you're a professional bodybuilder getting paid to do that.
Keyword sustainable. These athletes do this because that's their job. That's the thing we forget. We look at these people in the magazines or even Instagram, TikTok videos. That's their job.
Social media influencers, right?
That do that for a living. Besides, they're not doing this. They're not filming these videos of the gym and then going to a corporate environment. Most of them are not doing that. That's what they're doing for their living. And we, even myself, we forget that these people who are doing these, crazy amounts of food and meals and training, they're doing that, then going to bed. We're trying to do this and then go work a 9 to 5, take care of our families, and it's possible to do. But it's like, man, it's got to be another way to do this, for me to get in shape. And, because I don't plan on competing. I don't plan on getting on stage, versus some people who might think that way or want that particular goal. I want to look great, but not to where I'm competitive on stage. I just want
to look great. And as you get older, it's not just look great, it's feel great.
That's one thing people realize.
It's feeling young, staying young. Right. Looking great should be, I feel like this is secondary. I feel like it's just a bonus that comes with it, right? I can honestly say in my 40s, I feel great. Yeah. And the fact I'm in shape and I look good is a huge bonus. But it's not everything.
Yeah. I think the dad bod is one thing that people maybe are embracing now, because And the thing about it, nothing wrong with dad bod, nothing wrong with being shredded, but the idea, when I think about the dad bod, it's like just like someone who is, you know, living life because they're a father, they take care of their business, they have a good quality of life, and their bod is the last thing they're worrying about. They want to make sure their quality of life is good. Maybe their internal health is good, their cholesterol, their blood pressure, their lipids, everything's healthy, and their appearance is something that they want to work on, but it's not really the make or break anymore.
It's not important enough to
anymore.
Right?
Yeah. When you were a kid, you wanted to be shredded and be in shape. Now you want just longevity. You want to be able to walk your daughter down the aisle. You want to feel great, and then if you can, you want to look better. I think that's the mentality going on now with a lot of us.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting at is there's so many different ways of eating and so many different diets, and we're not dissing anything. We're not encouraging anything. There's always another way.
Right.
I mean, there's people out there doing carnivore, right? Just meat.
That's popular.
I've never tried it. I'm interested in trying it. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
Right.
But I'm not going to diss it unless I try it. And if I do try it, I'm still not going to diss it because it might work for somebody else.
Correct.
Is it healthy? I have no idea. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know. If I do it and I feel good and I function good, maybe it is good. But maybe it's good just for me and it doesn't work for you.
Precisely.
Just like being a vegetarian or a vegan. Like, I've never honestly tried it properly for longer than a week, so I can't say.
Yeah.
So this is just our opinion. Right now, we both do intermittent fasting. We've both done it for probably 4, 5, 6 years.
Easy. Yep.
Yeah, and that works really good for our lifestyle, right?
Yep, that's personally.
I personally do it every single day. I don't think you do it every day, do you?
I'll do a few days a week now. Just
a few now.
Yeah, a few days, and that's just that rotates. You know, as of right now, if you ask me, I do 3 days a week, 4 days a week. You ask me next month, 5 days a week, and then after that.
Yeah, so, constantly changing, right? Whatever's going on at the time.
That's the thing. It's based off what's going on, because I don't want to have my diet revolve around my life. I want to be kind of in tune with what I want to eat, when I want to eat, how I want to eat it. So it's going to change, based off what's going on.
Yeah, and the more you learn, the more you can tweak things and adjust things when you need to.
Right.
And breaking away from the addiction of food, that's
big.
Key.
That's big.
And I was addicted to food and I didn't realize. I'm sure you probably were too. If you find you've got to eat constantly, you're always hungry, you get hangry, your blood sugar drops, you're addicted to food. And I find fasting and prolonged fasts are probably the best way of breaking that addiction, where you become free. I am free. I have it right now. It's 3:20. I haven't eaten yesterday since probably 7 p.m. I'm getting to maybe 18, 20 hours of fasting. Am I hungry? No, not at all. Did I go to the gym today? Yes, I went to the gym. Doesn't make any difference. No, I am free. My life's not dictated around my next meal. And that's kind of what I'm getting at.
That's a key thing too. Like, I think it ties into mental health as well.
Huge, right?
Yeah, a lot of us who actually are trying to follow, adhere to like a regimen, whether it be macros or just a particular kind of diet, it affects us mentally because, like you said, food can be an addiction or can be a drug, and a lot of us, we crave and desire certain foods. So having something like the intermittent fasting, for someone who wants to try it out, and they're starting something for the first time, they're used to eating, the usual, drive-through food or having, processed foods, and going from that regimen to having like a structured regimen where everything is whole food based and not fried and not really unhealthy, that could easily mess with your mental health to where you're craving those things, especially if it's like a people say food's a drug, and I agree. The way things now, they're made to where they're designed to have you crave them and desire them,
sugar being
and
the
want
main thing,
them,
right?
from the actual types of sugar, the corn syrup, the corn sugar, the corn solids, to the actual GMO in certain foods and the things that it does to your hormones to make you desire and crave these things. So don't feel like don't feel discouraged if you can't go without certain foods, because the foods that you're used to eating were designed to actually make you crave and desire. So opposed to just going from chili cheese Fritos and Burger King to cold turkey, limit yourself a little more each day and see how that does for you. A lot of people actually do fast without realizing it. We both know that because they'll be working all day long and then they'll have like a big meal afterwards. If you can implement fasting and realize that you're doing that already, you can probably maybe, like I said before in previous videos, where you have a time where you're not eating at all, and then have a time where you're actually eating what you would like to eat. And your calories are going to be reduced dramatically because your time of eating is reduced. So you're indirectly going to be eating less calories so you can actually lose more weight, or at least feel like you're actually making an effort. Because if your mental health is good to where, man, I feel I'm actually making good strides, you're going to feel more, motivated to actually continue to do more. Let me actually try fasting, but maybe eating a little less of this fast food, maybe implementing a little more of my micronutrients regarding things that are whole food based, and then you can slowly adapt from there. Because a lot of us, we diet too hard and too aggressively, and it affects our mental health, which should be your base. How am I mentally prepared to do this food regimen? Is everything I'm eating mentally going to be okay with me on the day-to-day basis? And a lot of us don't think about that till we're in the middle of our regimen and we're like, man, this sucks, I'm over it. Go in the drive-thru.
I love that. This sucks, I'm over it. I'm going in and out.
Exactly, and that's fair. Our bodies are designed to do that because your body's telling you, hey, you're overdoing it. So the key thing about it is listen to your body.
I like that. Your body will tell you, right?
Your body will tell you, man, this is too much cardio, this is too much weight training, go to sleep.
You're not eating enough, you're eating too much, you're eating too strict.
Correct. These influencers on social media will say, no, dig deep and, it might work for you, but if you feel, it's not working for me, it's not working for you. Your body's telling you to, do
you have a percentage type breakdown? Like I probably have an 80-85% 20 rule. So meaning 80% of the time my food is pretty much on point, and then 20% is my dabble. And that 20% is whatever the hell I want it to be. Like I would say the last 5-6 days my diet has been on point, been doing keto, everything's been perfect. Tonight I might eat healthy, I might have pizza. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make any difference. And it's also going to keep me mentally sane, because I'm not competing, I'm not taking my shirt off, I've got no reason to be in elite shape. So by having that, it keeps me sane, it gives me something to look forward to. It's a good balance, and I'm a human being. Everyone's human, right?
Exactly.
If that food didn't exist, I wouldn't want it. I know that for a fact. You go back a couple hundred years, pizza wasn't around, we didn't want it, we didn't crave it. It's no such thing as these things. But now there is, we've had it, we want it more. So do you have a balance on your...
I personally don't. I kind of just go off of what I need.
What's your way of doing it?
I would say if I had to do a percentage, if I had to take, it'd probably be maybe like a 70% of what I want.
Really?
And then the other.
So you're having a few more cheat meals.
And the thing about me is what I want. It's usually like not bad at all. It's usually like red meats, like I'm doing anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So
that's why I personally do ketogenic diet or ketogenic approach, because I like my whole eggs. I like my raw milk. I like my ribeye, flank steak. So it's like I crave those things, but it also is part of my my lifestyle, my structure of foods. Now my clients, most of my clients I train, are not bodybuilders or athletes. They're just people who want to get in shape and get healthy and reverse anti-aging, reverse any kind of damage they've done to their bodies, and they have no structure to start. So I usually say for them, I usually do like a 60-40.
Okay. So, really? You give them that much?
Yeah, I give them that much, and then we slowly go down, because
I mean that's so achievable.
It's realistic.
It's literally a little bit more than half.
People don't like realistic goals.
Realistic being the great word for that.
I'm like, you haven't been to the gym in years, you haven't dieted in years, but you want to go. You sent me this diet on just tuna fish and broccoli diet, and
it's so hard because our entire lives been involved to going to the gym, eating well, and it's so hard to stop and put yourself in someone else's shoes who doesn't care about that. It never crosses their mind. Anything that goes in their mouth, they never even question it.
That's so
not
key.
going to the gym for 10 years hasn't even been a question.
That's so key.
It's so hard to relate to that. So I love the fact that you're giving that 60-40.
That's so key. Most of us as trainers and coaches, we forget that our mentality is night and day from maybe a client who's starting the first.
So rare, right? It's such a small percentage.
You have that crazy, freaky mindset to where we can dial in and do whatever you need to do, and we'll make it happen. We're nowhere there yet. Not saying they can't get that way, but they're not there yet. So.
They could be there in other things like business and hobbies and things like that. But diet, obviously they're having trouble with that.
And a lot of us food wise, we have a love-hate with food. We think food's our enemy. We have to realize that food's probably one of the greatest things in the world, that we actually need food to live. We need food to grow. We need food to stay healthy. We need food to cure disease. So we don't want to have
food is medicine, right?
Let that food be that medicine. We don't need to have a negative, rapport with food in our minds. If you want to have fast food, have fast food. If you need help, realizing that there's things that are like fast food from a whole foods perspective, read about that, have a nutritionist or a coach, or educator help you on those things. But you never want to think, oh, I can't have any fruit because it's high sugar. I can't have any red meat, high cholesterol. I can't have, those are things that it's not good for your mental health. If you want that, you should be able to have that.
Gotcha. And then we always talk about like one variable at a time. So kind of stealing that from you. I guess we can. We talked about it enough now. I feel like I can steal that.
Go for it.
It's just taking one thing away slowly, right?
Precisely.
Don't have to go too extreme too soon. If you've been eating crap and you haven't cared about this for 10 years, 20 years, don't go too hard too soon.
Yes.
Very slowly, very gradually, restricting one soda a day or one soda a week, or adding in one walk with your dog a week, or just something very small, making it a habit and keeping it consistent.
Stay enjoyable, right?
Before you even think about doing anything else, right? Exactly. That's a fair way of putting it.
That's what I agree with you on that. 100%.
And then I like what you said, like 60-40. So 60% of the time trying to be as healthy as you can, 40% of the time sticking your old habits. Your old habits. And then slowly and surely over time, think about your environment, think about your influence, think about trying to be a role model for your children, whatever that motivation is, finding that why and slowly but surely increasing that.
I agree.
And then that one variable ends up 5 variables, which ends up 10 variables, ends up 20 variables.
Lifestyle.
And then what happens? You feel better, you look better, you function better, you're more motivated, and you start this this positive domino effect.
And there's no blowback. You're not digressing out.
Yeah.
You maintain from there.
You tell anybody they can't do something, what are they going to want to do? Exactly what you told them they can't do.
Exactly.
But you show them a way, you show them a path, it's more a chance they're going to actually succeed.
Right.
Yeah. What else do you want to add to that?
Yeah. I think it's good to chime in on the ladies. You'll see these ads for fat burners and supplements and just diet in general, and men will lose weight faster than women. We have to just realize women, their job is not to actually lose weight as fast as guys, because they have a lot more functions going on hormonally and once again bearing our children. So they're designed to actually hold body fat, and their bodies may not want to lose fat as fast. So for them, I really always implement the 60-40 for them, especially if they're first starting out, because and then
females tend to eat more on emotion and on hormones too. Would you say?
Yeah. That's one thing too, for sure. And then they're also you have their menstruation as well.
Yeah. So by telling them they can't do it, that's the worst thing. So you're not selling so that time of month, or they're going through something. Yeah. Go nuts. Yeah. Use that to however you need to.
Yes. Pick the right. Ladies, pick
the
right coach, pick the right direction.
Yeah.
Some trainers, I've had clients that were females, and their coaches, their professional coaches, had them on different kinds of drugs for weight loss for years, opposed to small amounts of times. They've had metabolic issues. They've had thyroid issues. They've had issues with their hair falling out. Issues with the worst things ever. And you can't. This is my opinion. You cannot give a regimen for a male and use that same regimen for a female. You cannot do that. There are certain things.
More about that.
There are certain things that you have to adhere to when it comes to women. We don't have the same exact body when it comes to estrogen, progesterone. So what I mean, without getting into too much detail in science, generally speaking, there are certain things that women actually need certain times of the month that they might be craving. This is for us talking about for women who are not competing for Olympia or a bikini photo shoot, women who want to lose weight and not feel like they're actually enjoy the journey. Women who need to lose weight and they want to enjoy the journey from a anti-aging healthy perspective. Certain times of the month when they have their menstrual, they're going to crave certain things, they're going to desire certain things, they're going to need certain things. You want to structure their eating and timing around certain times. Now, a lot of women usually can gain a lot of weight depending on how their hormones are during that time of the month, to where they might crave certain things during their period. We'll say that just to put it out there. For those who don't know, menstrual cycle means when you have high amounts of progesterone, estrogen, and you're eating foods that are just that you're craving. I've had clients who crave chili cheese Fritos and they crave tacos and Robertos. For those who know what Robertos is, which is
tacos,
things cooked in lard, great tasting,
Yeah.
but the horrible thing. And women will store fat more on their menstrual if they're eating horrible foods.
Gotcha.
And their body craves those things though a lot of times during their menstrual as well. So it's more so really knowing how to actually be diligent and regimen a proper eating structure for them personally. So when they're on that time of the month, having certain supplements that they can implement to where they're not craving as much, making sure their training is not too much of a stress period to where they're craving too much as well. So during that time, it's always a good idea to make sure their stress levels are low, their sleep's really good, they have proper supplements to give them a healthier, menstrual cycle as well.
Yep.
And then giving them the proper foods they need during their cycle to where they're not craving those particular foods. And then when they finish, if they want to have a leisure meal, then have it during that time.